The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newey Scruggs.
It's Tuesday from the Taj Mahal of football, and welcome to the Players Lounge, the official chip and dip of your Dallas Cowboys. And you are now rocking with the best. I'm Heckma Harrison, and these are the players in the building. My man, Danny McCray, and Mr. Booby Trap himself.
Hey,
my man, our 42. But boy, Barry Church.
Trapaholics.
Boy, look at this guy, I tell you. Who needs friends like these? Boy,
why you walked into that like that?
I walked right into it. But, man, I tell you what, I know y'all watched this game last night, and we're going to get into it because I'm sure there are a lot of thoughts circling in your mind about the game that you saw last night. But before we get into that, man, wellness check. It is November. Men's Health Awareness Month, man. So, yeah, it is, people grow their beards out. You already there, you know what I'm saying? But, prostate health, man, you got to go get your prostate. Y'all might not be in that
We
state.
ain't there yet.
What is it?
It's like 40.
40 or 38 or something like that?
Man, go on, do it now.
Nah,
Get that thing, get it checked.
You got to get that.
Gotta
you
get
gotta
checked.
that.
listen, I'm okay. I'm comfortable. Like that ain't no thing. Health is wealth.
Health is wealth.
So,
what you got to do.
But also mental health as well, man. Check on your people in November. They tell on your people all the time.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, brothers, how y'all doing, man? BC, I'll start with you.
I'm doing good, man. Life is good. Football. It's going to be a good football weekend. With college, NFL, Cowboys play on Thursday, Thanksgiving, food going to be right. So, it's looking good right now.
You
I
got
can't
your
wait.
people
People's is in town
They
right
come
now.
in
So,
town.
it's, about to be eating good, man.
Mom Dukes in here?
Mom, Dukes, Pops come in tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's about to be real, man.
Oh, man. I love to hear that.
What do you got on?
What?
And bones.
Yeah. You got a lot of ragged bones. Life is good.
Life is good. Can't complain. Can't complain, man.
Complain, so
Can't
this
complain.
What you got to complain about, man?
I got nothing. I'm okay. I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? My pick was right yesterday. Like I said, both my fantasy teams won. I'm all right with that.
Oh, I won.
Thanksgiving is coming, and my favorite part of that is that stuffing with that cranberry sauce, and I've been dreaming about it. Okay, so I can't wait for that cornbread stuffing with the turkey in there, smoked turkey, and then the cranberry dressing. So I'm ready. I can't wait. And I can't wait. Hopefully you don't run into a trap today.
No. I am aware. I will not step in that. But I'm good too, man. It's blessings, man. Life is good, bro. If you just hone in on it, man, life is good, man. I'm looking forward to Thursday. Got my whole vegan menu going on, man. We have to. I still get some of the sides, bro. I get the sides.
You can't get chicken, bro.
Do you do the mac and cheese? Or?
Of course, yes.
I thought it was something like you ain't. I thought it was something about the cheese you ain't mess with. Or
You're not
like that.
vegan. You just don't eat meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
But
You gotta chill out.
no. Bro, that's not even. That's not even.
Go ahead. I'm with you. Go ahead.
That's
bro.
not even.
Hey, go ahead.
But no, real talk. So you do. What about like chicken broth, bone broth, like stuff like that? You
won't do it.
All right. So it's not like anything that has to do with animal protein
At all.
Don't.
Yeah, it got mom and dad. I don't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Just at
right.
all. So, but anyway, we work it out, man. We got plenty of dishes. My wife, she put it together. She got some of my grandmama recipes. She has mastered. Thank you. So, all of those things is all good. But let's get into it.
Wait. One more thing. So, are the kids also?
No.
Okay. So they still eat the turkey, the ham.
They tell all that.
And
You
just gotta smell
all that.
Yeah.
Man.
And so don't believe none of it when people say they go vegan. Like meat doesn't smell good, and they lying.
Now he did it.
Yeah.
Now he did it. It smell good, don't it?
Oh God. Oh God.
I'm about to die.
When I'm telling you, when that chicken come out, when that fried chicken come out, I'm like, oh man, I remember when.
Like Marty.
just looking at it, man.
Oh man, it still smells good. But look, last night, man, we had a game. I even texted the group. I was like, man, what a game. What a game. And complete back and forth affair. I will say this. And there are a lot of people with complaints about how Philly's getting it done. I don't care if it's pretty. I don't care if it's ugly. I think championship level teams, especially when you can go on a road in that environment and also in that weather and pull out a victory. I was impressed with what Philly did yesterday.
I'll say this, and this is top to bottom in the league, receivers, running back, all that. Okay, stats. All that stuff, it matters, right? It just looks different, right? Their winning ugly looks a lot different than Pittsburgh's winning ugly.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So like when you talk about those games and like, oh, this is just another team that they just find a way to win at the end, just like they're not like Pittsburgh. They're a totally different team, all right? They can figure out different ways. Hey man, like I said, offense ain't rolling. Defense got you. We'll take care. Passing game, A.J. Brown not rolling. That's all right. Jalen Hurts at the end of the game, he decides, you know what? I'm just put it on me. I'm running the ball. They start running quarterback lead all over the place, and then the game was over with. It was a hell of a game.
No, that was a great
But them
game.
drops is crazy.
Nah, man, cats is dropping left and right. But no, it was a heck of a game, and it was extremely impressive because you get to see Philly and how they win in so many different ways. You know, A.J. Brown gets locked up. They was doing a heck of a job on A.J. Brown. Here comes the Slim Reaper, Devontae Smith, just catching it over the top. I mean, it's just so many ways, man. And you look at it first half, it seemed like that offensive line hadn't had nothing for Kansas City. Like they was, Karlaftis, Chris Jones. I mean, they was out there just destroying that line. And so in the second half, they made the adjustments. Like you said, let's run a little bit more with Jalen Hurts. Let's get the ball in Swift's hands, who looked dynamic once again out there. So you look at it, and they just find different ways to win. And when you talk about making your team better, because that's what they do all the time at trade line. They make them better. They got 2 acquisitions. All right, they got the Bayard, the safety, and then they got Roby as well, the nickelback. Those 2 players might have made
his butt off last
2 of the
night.
biggest plays in the game. You knock the ball out, Kelsey, in the red zone. They get the ball back. Bayard over the top. Intercepts, what's his name, Mahomes.
It was a perfect play too, because it was an in and up, man.
So you look at their organization, they find different ways to win. They've got better overall so far in the regular season by getting these acquisitions, not just sitting on the talent they have. And you got to look at them in the teams that they've beaten, and there's no denying it. You got to put them up there as a top dog, not only in the NFC. But in the NFL overall, I mean, just going about the way they look, and then you say they still haven't even played like that game where you're like, oh, that's them. That's
Their best
them right
ball
there.
has not happened,
and
yet.
they still 9-1. So that was extremely impressive.
I will say this: I think that is them. I think they best ball is figure out how to way to win the game that they're in, and that's and that's what it is. I think sometimes if they play a worse team, you might see them score 50 or whatever. But I think when it gets down to it, it's that playoff type of football that they're playing. Of like, hey man, it don't matter what happens. We're going to find a way to win. And then I want to also say that battle between Pacheco and, was it Blankenship?
Yes.
That was a man. Hey, they was back. Hey, that's the type of when you used to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens with Ray and them, like you started to see stuff like that because Pacheco run hard.
Yes.
And Blankenship was like, hey, let's see it. Let's see it.
He was up for it. Like, it was crazy.
Oh, smack on the sideline?
Man.
Took him off his feet.
Yeah.
So now it was an all-around good game. Like I said, but them drops.
Man, you hate to see
Now you
it.
guys, as players, former players, doesn't matter. I'm sure you can't turn that side of your brain off where you are still dissecting team strength and weaknesses. When you saw Philly, was there anything you saw in them last night that you were like, okay, that's something that the Cowboys may be able to exploit in the future, or that's going to be a problem for them in the future?
Nah, because I think our offense, they moved the ball pretty well against Philly. But that's the scary thing about Philly, right? We go out there and we have one of our best offensive games, and they just find a way to win. How do we adjust coming out of halftime, finding a way to put this team to sleep? And they have continued to find a way to do it. Even looking back to last year, they're looking at almost the same type of record, losing one game, and then they move throughout the season, and you're just trying to figure out how, Jalen Hurts not healthy, his knees bothering him. Oh, watch this. Watch this. Let's run quarterback league. Swift. They pick up Swift from Detroit. And Guy went out there, 99 yards receiving last night?
You talking about
Swift? Smith, yes.
No, Swift. How did Swift do? He
ran the ball well. I thought
99.
Oh, those screens. He had a couple of those screens.
He had a couple screen passes.
He got
3 for 31.
Yeah. So are you looking at him? My bad.
He's not having though.
You know what I mean. Anyway, a lot of yards last night for Swift.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I'm with you,
He
dog.
said it with no facial
Yeah, he's
expression.
like 30.
Are you still mad about the trap?
Yes.
Come on, man. Anyways, they listen. They got a lot of different guys out there who can make plays, and they find a way to use them whenever they need to. So shout out to them. They look good, but we get to see them in a couple weeks, man.
And I'm about to say, and what you said, weakness-wise.
Any weakness, yes.
Overall, like I said, I mean, you find them different ways to win. It's going to be hard. But that offensive line for the Eagles, that first half, that Kansas City was eating on them.
Oh,
like
Chris
Jones was
going to the All-Pro.
berserk.
Yeah, he was going
on
All-Pro.
them. And the way they were able to bottle that up, I think we have the same, if not better, rush than Kansas City. I mean, I would say that you can go Parsons for Jones, and then but everybody else, the secondary pieces, I believe, are better here than they are in Kansas City. Dan Quinn, I think he's a better coordinator. I think you can get after Philly's offensive line a little bit and make things hard for Jalen Hurts back there. But the only thing they're going to counter with that is, all right, let's hand that thing off to Swift and let's see what's going on, because that's a weakness of the Cowboys. So, man, it's going to be a battle in a couple weeks for sure.
12 carries for 76 yards was DeAndre Swift's night last night, and it was effective running. He didn't. I believe he scored. He did score a touchdown last night. Jalen Hurts scored 2 touchdowns, and that was what was impressive for me. They were shutting down the pass. They were doing a lot of things as far as A.J. Brown was concerned, but they could not deny Smith on the other side. But when their offense got stagnant, and when it got to the point where you're like Jalen Hurts, you're looking for him to have a moment, he found little things to do, whether it was moving the chains, whether it was down in the red zone when they needed a score and that defense got tight. And there were points in the game where I was saying, Jalen Hurts, he's hurt. That's just from way he's not playing like himself. But then when he took the ball and took it into the end zone, I'm like, man, that's championship level stuff. And no matter how I hate on the Eagles, I have to give credit where credit is due. But I'm with you on that side. Their offensive line, that looked like they had some cracks in it. And to me, I'm like, look, if Dan Quinn's not sitting back salivating saying, oh man, I got 11 is going to eat against this, because they were putting pressure on them. Now the thing for Kansas City in the second half, I'm trying to figure out how did they go away from Pacheco. Why did they go away? Why did they go away from that? And what is happening with them offensively, where they get going and then all of a sudden it just shuts down? They shut down in the second half, and I don't know if it's coaching. Yeah. And that's how I segue over to the Washington Commanders, because every enemy's offense, and you can tell, man, there's something missing in the ingredient up there in Kansas City that's limiting them offensively, even though you got those big
trying to say catches.
Yeah. That catches is huge.
even though you got
Because they open.
Yeah.
Why?
Historically, I mean, if you look at it throughout the league or throughout the season, I think they're one of the worst second half teams in the National Football League. When you talk about Kansas City not making those second half adjustments, and when you look at it in the past, it was like when Mahomes got off script and he started scrambling around, there was Tyreek Hill, 50 yards down the way. You could just launch it up to him. Even with Kelsey, it seems like teams are figuring it out, man. If you double this guy, and make the rest of these guys win, you got a better chance. And that's what brings me to the Cowboys as well. I'm glad we started featuring other people as far as Cooks. You see Gallup getting a little bit in there, Ferg. Because teams are going to do like they did Kelsey. They're going to see CeeDee Lamb and say, man, we got to take this guy out no matter what. I don't care if we got to have 2 people, 3 people on him. We got to take this man out. Can the other, secondary pieces come up and still make this offense productive? And I think that's something that the Cowboys have got to figure out going forward, and they're doing a good job so far. If you see, Cooks these past couple of weeks getting the ball, but they got to make things happen when it comes to that. They got to.
He got the ball last week.
I mean, 4 for 4, 4 for 4, yeah, man. You know what I mean? He was 4 for 4.
I mean, that's the perfect point of and that's what we've been trying to say all season of hey man, you got to find another way to win when they take away your main way, right? So if you're running the ball, how we started off at the beginning of the season, and they take away the run, then how do we play? And then we start to see we had an issue, right? Going to bye week, change it around a little bit. All of a sudden, we've been looking totally different on offense. The thing that scares me about our team is when we put it all on Dak. When it really gets to that time where the game is on the line and you put it on your quarterback like Philly put it on Jalen shoulders last night.
Yeah.
Are you going to protect the ball and still lean on your defense, or are you going to go out there and you're going to try to do some stuff and end up throwing all type of interceptions? Because that's what I appreciated from watching Jalen Smith yesterday. He's like, my defense is balling. What I'm going to do is, no matter what, I'm still going to give them a shot to keep us in the game, and they pitched a shutout. Right, they pitched a shutout the whole time, and then they come out and they're like, all right, now we have an opportunity to score, and they win the game because he made sure he protected the ball and gave his defense, who was balling, an opportunity to go out there and help them win the game.
And one, when you see Jalen Hurts go out there and he's winning against teams with winning records, now that's the one. Come on, we just got to keep it real. This is the Players Lounge. This is what we do. And we, for your point about Dak, is him protecting the ball, or you're a little pessimistic about putting it on his shoulders, as you would a Jalen Hurts, who you're seeing now in those moments rise to that level to be able to put the team on his back. What Dak has been showing you over the last couple of weeks, he hadn't turned the ball over. He's protecting the ball. He's taking what the defense is giving them. And when you have a team like the Commanders that's coming in, maybe not the same threat that you had from the outside with Chase Young and some of the guys that they got rid of, but they still have Payne. They still have Allen. Yeah. They still have an interior that can cause problems for you. When you evaluate the Commanders, does any of that give you pause as far as our offensive line versus their defensive line?
Yeah, I mean, listen, outside of last week, we knew that still, like when we saw it, we were like, okay, maybe he's still coming off that ACL injury. He's not as healthy as we thought he was because he had some rough snaps. We talked about Zach Martin yesterday. We know he's going to be great. We know he's going to have some rough snaps, but you still worry a little bit depending on who's on the other side of the ball. Yeah. We haven't really been able to open up the running game as much as we want to. Like Tony Pollard had some good runs last week. I'm not going to say that we're a great running team, right?
He had a great run. Come on.
Hey man, it was really good. Yeah. Mike McCarthy made the face and all that. You know what I'm saying? So it was good. Right. I don't worry about them causing us enough trouble for like Dak to have to get sacked 5 times, any of that stuff. Can they put some pressure on us? Heck yeah, they can put some pressure on us. It doesn't scare me like a Philadelphia defensive line or a Kansas City defensive line, or now especially a San Francisco defensive line. It don't worry me like that. It's nothing we can't handle.
Is this a game, though, for your wide receivers when you look at the Commanders' secondary? There's nothing on their side that could possibly worry you with it. Kendall Fuller, Cameron Curl's a tackling machine, Percy Butler, and Benjamin St. Just, I believe is his last name. What do you think about their secondary?
With the Tolbert.
Yeah, they secondary is very gettable. Still with the Tolbert.
Come on.
Nah, that secondary is very gettable. Like you said, you can get the ball going in the right direction against their secondary. Only thing that kind of worries me is, man, when you look at Washington throughout this year, I just feel like they'll have those games where they're just poo trash. Like they just, look like garbage. And then that next week, Eric Bieniemy got Sam Howell looking like Pat Mahomes out there, throwing up 350 yards and, 4 tubs. And I feel like last week was that game against New York where they look poo trash. Yeah. Like you got DeVito out there throwing for 303 tubs, Saquon Barkley running all over you. Man, I think they're going to come this week and be like, nah, we can't let that happen again. And so you're going to get the best out of the Commanders. And I feel like you're going to get the best out of Howell and all those receivers as well, because they got a nice roster when you look at skill position and all that good stuff. So it's going to be a tight game, in my opinion.
We're going to get to their offense versus our defense. But what about their secondary? Do you think this is a game where Brandon Cooks can eat? You can get the long ball going over the top. There are things that you can definitely create a mismatch with your tight ends.
Do I think our guys will be open? Yes. I think that Brandon Cooks is going to be able to get open a lot.
No.
I think it's going to be able to get open a lot against the Commanders' defense. I think that CeeDee Lamb is going to have a day. I think he's going to be open. They can try to double him all they want to, but I don't think they're going to be able to take him away. Ferguson's going to have a game. I just don't know if we are going to continue what we did against the New York Giants, okay, and throw the ball to the right folks. Because we listen, and this is not if they were throwing the ball to Jalen Tolbert and he was open, he was making big time catches, and it was like, oh, that's the reason for us to keep throwing him the ball. I wouldn't be saying none of this. But we saw this 3-by-1, him by himself and 1-on-1. Get locked up.
Yeah.
We watched the game last week. He getting target at the target, and there's no separation on the routes. Like, so when you get into a game like this, yes, I do think Brandon Cooks is going to be open. I just don't know if he's going to get the majority of the targets like he should behind CeeDee Lamb.
He's going to give you 4.
He might. If you're lucky.
4 for 36.
Yeah. And then don't play fantasy football, right? So,
but that was what you were just talking about. You were just talking about the fact that you have to get other guys involved in what.
That not him. That's not what I'm talking about.
Who else?
Come on,
who else is? If you got to get other, because you're gonna need more than just your main top guys. You're gonna need other guys like a Jalen Tolbert to be involved. You're gonna need Schoonmaker, who caught a touchdown last week. You're gonna need him also.
No, that's not true. I don't believe that. Okay,
You don't believe
you
that.
got CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup as your starting receivers. You're gonna need all of those guys. You already using Turpin. You need more. No, you don't.
That's it.
At some point, you can have too much. You
can have too much.
Now you have too much. We play too much. All right, get these guys involved. Gallup, for whatever we say about Gallup, he still finds ways to make big time catches.
Yeah.
When you need them, all right? Separation don't look the same, but if you throw the ball to him, you know you got a chance that he can at least make a catch when he's covered. All right, Brandon Cooks is open. Turpin is showing that he deserves to be on the field more than he has been, because when he get the ball in his hands, the dude, you trying to figure out how many yards he's going to get. Is it 50? I'm waiting for him to break one of them 50-yard touchdown runs.
Might be this week.
But, nothing against Jalen Tolbert. I just think he's behind all those guys.
Nothing against Jalen Tolbert.
I think he's behind those guys when it comes to route ball distribution.
Well, let's take our first break, and when we come back, we got to talk about this defense, man. That's heating up. The bazooka had 2.5. We had a pick 6. We had a sack strip. Can we continue this versus Sam Howell and the Commanders? Coming up next on the Players Lounge.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Hi, I'm Danny McCray, Dallas Cowboys alumni player here with Smoothie King. And Smoothie King wants to ask you, what's that sound? That's the sound of us magically transforming our smoothie bowls into 2 new decadent flavors. Dig into a cool acai or pitaya bowl, handcrafted with crunchy, purely Elizabeth granola, fresh strawberries, and finished with a velvety chocolate hazelnut drizzle. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or anytime you want to munch. And that's the sound of you making them disappear. Smoothie bowls, now in 2 new decadent flavors. Only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. #Be your own boss.
There is no I in Dallas. There is no I in Hart either. No I in Blue Star or in Lone Star for that matter. And there's no I in how about them Cowboys? Smirnoff knows there's no I in football. Football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks, home or away, we rally together, we cry together, and we always rally cry together because there's definitely no I in Cowboys fans. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Experience the most electrifying event of the holiday season, Cowboy Christmas Extravaganza, powered by Reliant. Every Friday and Saturday night through December 16th, Cowboys Christmas Extravaganza ignites the Star in Frisco with an unforgettable holiday performance showcasing 65 performers, including the world-renowned Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, Santa Claus, and appearances from your favorite Dallas Cowboy football heroes. Visit thestardistrict.com for more information. Back here on the Players Lounge. And that was a long read, but I got it.
That was good, man. No stumbling, no
Yes. Fellas, let's switch on the other side of the ball and talk a little bit about our defense versus the Washington Commander offense. I will say this. When I watched the Washington Commanders, they looked bad last week. It was hard to watch that tape. But one thing that they do have, brothers, that we're going to have to talk about, and that is one Brian Robinson Jr., their running back.
He doing work.
He is doing work. Now, I don't know the story behind if he took over the position from Antonio Gibson, but some kind of way, this brother has come in and he is making a name for himself. And if the Cowboys don't watch it, he will definitely cancel Thanksgiving dinner. He will make that turkey not taste so good. I won't be having any anyway.
And he's one of them backs, that's given trouble to the Cowboys in the past. One of them big physical guys that are just through the egg, got 3 yards in a cloud of dust, a couple times. Next thing you know, he busts a 6-yarder, a 7-yarder. And he's a threat out of the backfield as well. Right. All right, the man has catches. The man can do it all. He's one of those, 3-down backs, whatever they like to call him. Yeah. So offensively for Washington, man, they got the skill positions in place. Like, they got the receivers, they got the tight end, they got the running backs back there. But I truly think they're literally one quarterback away, from being real contenders.
How many years have we been saying that?
And that's what it's been. And that's what it's been.
That for like 5 years.
They failed a lot.
It's up and down. I mean, Sam Howell this year, like I said, 1 week he'll look like Mahomes, the next week he'll look like DeVito, the bad DeVito. So it's like, and man, I think they're really one quarterback away, but this is a team that you truly can't sleep on. Like Carolina and the Giants, like we say, man, you can't sleep on these guys, but we all know they ain't no way, and you know what, that they should be able to beat the Cowboys. This is a game where if you sleepwalk, for a quarter or two and let it be close in the fourth, these guys can mess around and beat you. So you can't overlook these guys at all. And I think offensively, they can give you some troubles if they have time.
Yeah, I feel the same. I think we still trying to figure out how we are against a team that can really run the football. Yeah. And Brian Robinson can catch the ball out of the backfield. He runs the ball well. And Sam Howell is like Fitzpatrick to me. He's like Fitzpatrick of like, okay, I know that we could get 3 picks off this dude. Yeah. I know that we can. But I also know that we could give up 6 touchdowns. like I know that is a possibility. Yeah. If for some reason when he walk into our stadium, he just owned that day. Like he could just be rolling. I do believe that our secondary, no matter how well he plays, we should be able to be successful against them. But if you are slipping or lacking or whatever, I'm telling you, dog, this Thanksgiving not gonna be pretty. No. It's not gonna be pretty, not for the defense, okay? Because at that point, you will have a team that can run the ball, quarterback that can throw the ball with some serviceable receivers. All right, so this is one heck. Where how you felt against the New York Giants when I kept saying, hey, man, just chill. It is all right.
Well, let me go ahead.
Yeah. This the one that I feel that way. Can't sleepwalk into this one. Thursday game, short rest, all that.
That's true. And this, real quick, but this kind of reminds me of when we went up and played Arizona. And the only reason I say that is they can spread you out. Like Arizona was able to spread you out receiver-wise, tight end-wise, and you weren't able to kind of condense that middle of the field and get after guys. And that's the same thing with the Commanders. Well, offensively, those receivers, from 1 to 4, they got speed.
And tight end.
And the tight end can spread out as well. So this is a tricky one. This is a tricky one when we talk about the Commanders.
This is one, though, when I look at your defensive line, we talked about our offensive line versus their defensive line. Now let's go with our defensive line versus their offensive line, and that's where Sam Howell has been sacked 51 times already this season, okay? So that means he's taking major hits back there. And you have a defensive front that is right now getting after people. All right. It's going to be a lot of one-on-one matchups because the teams are going to have to try and double, triple team number 11.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, where my confidence is that now you can make up that space versus them with your pass rush, with the way that one is going to start with stopping the run. Let's just
I'm about to say start there. You got to earn that right.
Let's start at stopping the run. That's number one thing that we have to prioritize because if we don't stop the run, then that makes everything else for them open up. And we do know that they have a guy in Terry McLaurin that they call Scary Terry that you feel as though he is a matchup nightmare. But Deron Bland and Gilly, I think with those 2 cornerbacks, I feel confident in anything that the Commanders are going to come with.
What about on the inside, though?
Let me deal in my joy first.
I'm just saying. Let
me deal in my joy.
I feel confident that our secondary can handle it. I still do know it's going to be a battle. Like I said, if the quarterback is on and he can complete some passes, right, or if there's a little bit of time for him to figure out how to get from read 1 to read 2, whatever that is, it'll be a battle. I don't see, I have ultimate faith in Deron Bland and Gilly. Those are professionals on the other side. And then McLaurin is still one of the top guys. He got speed. He can make any catch. So it's going to be a battle, a fun one to watch. Hopefully Sam Howell will come in here sleepwalking, and we don't have to worry about none of that. But I'm sure we can handle them. But they're gonna get their catches if Sam Howell,
If he got time, he
got to show up a little bit.
Yeah, he can.
Let's talk about that inside. Let's talk about your safeties. Let's go ahead and move to that part of it and your nickel position, because you do still have Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson, and like we just talked about, Terry McLaurin. Does any of that, and we're talking about Lewis right now.
Yeah, and when you look at it, I'm with y'all when it comes to the outside. When you talk about Bland and Gilly, like there's not, those guys can handle. They should be able to handle anybody on the outside that the Commanders can put up there. When you talk about the inside, because like you said, they like to put McLaurin at the slot as well. Dotson, we all know how tricky it is to guard him. And Logan Thomas versus a Lewis and maybe even a Curse or whoever they want to put on tight ends. That's the matchup to me where it's like they're gonna have to bring their A game, because that slot, like we both understand, that position one of the hardest positions in defense, because there's just so much space you got to play with. So you got to be on your leverages. And Jordan Lewis, he's a smart, very, football IQ guy. He understands leverages and all that good stuff. So he needs to stay on that, because that's what I think's been getting him beat these past couple weeks is guys are crossing his face and getting outside on him. And if he continues that, it's going to be a long afternoon. But if he's able to use his help in there, like we understand, linebackers coming down, safeties coming down, controlling the middle of the hashes, that's where all your help is. So try to funnel those guys back in there. But we all know Dan Quinn, he plays, 65% man-to-man coverage. Yeah. So they're going to have to bring their lunch pail, because it's going to be a heck of a night.
BC, is there anything when you evaluate the Commanders at this point that scares you? And it's for everybody. Does anything about the Commanders scare you?
Nah, not on a level where I'm like, man, like man, we got to be. Like, I think this defense should be able to handle the Commanders. I mean, like our A game versus their A+ game, it shouldn't be a comparison. So nothing scares me. It's just don't take them for granted. Don't sleep when you go in there, because they can and they will have the ability to do you dirty if you do so.
Yeah, that's what scares me is us not knowing which Washington team is going to show up, right? You just don't know. So you do have to be on your P's and Q's and stuff, but you can still walk in that game and I feel you on like, hey, our A game is better than their A game. But they can make it a game.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like if our best shows up in their show, it's still gonna be a competitive game. Like we did just come off a Carolina game where it was 17-10 going into the fourth quarter. I think that the Washington Commanders have more than the Carolina Panthers. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, these short weeks are always tricky. Thursday night football, always tricky.
Always.
Sometimes the best defense will go out there and give up 40 and it's an offensive shootout. Sometimes the worst defense come out and they shut out the offense. You just don't know what's gonna happen. And I think that's going to be one of these because it's Thanksgiving Cowboy football.
It's Thanksgiving, and this is a rivalry game. You guys have played in this game. Y'all know it. It don't matter whether Washington, that's what you said. Which Commanders is going to show up. And you know from playing in this game, they can lose every game and then show up on Thanksgiving world beaters.
That's true.
And and this has historically been this series. This rivalry between the Dallas Cowboys and Washington Commanders has been around since the Cowboys entered the league in 1960. The two teams have faced off against each other twice and since 1970. In 124 regular season games, this series has either been decided by 44 games have been decided by 2 or more touchdowns, 50 games decided by less than a touchdown, 7 games decided by 1 point, 10 games decided, 10-game winning streak by the Dallas Cowboys from 1997 to 2002. So we did have a winning streak over them. But other than that, I'm telling you, the list goes on of these two teams facing off against each other. And I'm telling you, the Cowboys have the higher winning percentage against them. But this is going to be a game that you cannot discount. So, I'm hoping that everybody has a good Thanksgiving. But, boy, save your dessert.
I can't imagine how upset you would be right now. Me and Church came in here talking about, they ain't got to worry about the.
What the?
That's what be flipped.
I can't believe y'all trying to
Nah, y'all playing. This April Fool's y'all playing.
Look, man, I done got used to it. When y'all come in here with that, I'm like, what, man? What are you doing? But that's the way this goes. And you know that this is a rivalry. And, man, it has been one that has been completely one-sided since 2016. So we're going to take another break and come back for our last segment here on the Players Lounge.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. #Be your own boss.
Hi, I'm Danny McCray, Dallas Cowboys alumni player here with Smoothie King. And Smoothie King wants to ask you, what's that sound? That's the sound of us magically transforming our smoothie bowls into 2 new decadent flavors. Dig into a cool acai or pitaya bowl, handcrafted with crunchy, purely Elizabeth granola, fresh strawberries, and finished with a velvety chocolate hazelnut drizzle. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or anytime you want to munch. And that's the sound of you making them disappear. Smoothie bowls, now in 2 new decadent flavors. Only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Get a frame-worthy family holiday photo with Santa at the Star, presented by Monument Realty. Santa Claus will be at his cowboy-themed cottage in the Star District now through December 24th. Book your visit before December 9th and save $5 with code STAR5. Visit thestardistrict.com/Santa for more information. Back here for the last segment of the Players Lounge. Heckman Harrison, Danny McCray, Barry Church, Newey Scruggs is
on assignment.
He went home to see his daddy.
Oh, that is.
Yeah, he went to see his daddy. This yours?
Yeah, that's me. What? That's old school, man.
Yo, no,
Yeah, I like that, man.
What you How you do? See, Danny, man, you know what?
Because I was getting, but nope.
You know what? Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'm trying to remember the movie. I can't remember.
Man, you know what? Soon as I came in here, what's my man Jesse Holly? Soon as I walking out, he's like, you look like Denzel from Fences.
Oh, not the
man, I'm telling you, I don't deal with Jesse Holly, man. Talk about a hater in real time. Anyway, here we go with this. How are you guys? We're chasing Philly right now. We are. We're chasing Philly, and when you start looking at the playoff race, this day they're closing it out. They're getting stronger as we go, and every game that goes by that they win, you get a little bit further back. But you guys played? Obviously, are you clock watching now? Are you in that mode? Are you saying we still control our own destiny and we have to go in here and obviously pull this win out, because that would be the only separator between you and them?
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm not watching a record just yet, because I understand there's a lot of games left and anything can happen. Both sides, hopefully everybody stays healthy and all that good stuff. But I'm not at the point yet where I'm like, all right, they lost this game, so we got to pick it up another game down here. Not just yet. Now, if this was, the final maybe 3 games or 3 games, and it was close, then I'm looking like, man, I'm tuning in. Hey, these guys, if they lose here, we can get that jump on them. But in all reality, man, and I know it's coach slogan and all that good stuff, but you literally got to take it one game at a time. I mean, once you start looking in advance and seeing, all right, we play them on this date, if we can get these 2 games in quick, then that's when you usually drop one. And that's when usually you come in there sleepwalking, because you're looking ahead. So they'll take it one game at a time. Mike McCarthy's done a good job so far as a coach here of making sure his teams are ready to play no matter what the situation. So they'll be ready to roll, and I don't think they're watching the records just yet. Just not yet.
It's getting close.
Yeah, I think, you dropped that game to Arizona. All right, so now you're in a position of like, hey, control what you can control.
Yeah,
all right, focus on what you can control because really that's all that matters. You need some help from Philly. You get to play them again, but they still would have to, drop another game. You know they're going through their tough schedule. But right now you're continuing to try to get better offensively and then also shore up your ability to stop the run on defense, right? So I think that's what you have to focus on to make sure you're playing your best football once you get into the playoffs. You want to host a home game, that's the thing, right? But at this point, like I said, you haven't played well enough against really good teams to even feel like that is something you should be focused on. Focus on your next game.
Yeah.
And then if you get to that point to where Philly drops a game and you get to play Philly and now it really matters, then that's when you start thinking about it then.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, no. Think about Washington.
Yeah.
You're on a short
Sam
week.
Howell.
Sam Howell. The bad Sam Howell. Not the good one. The bad one.
Now, this could be the Cowboys' 13th victory at AT&T Stadium. And, I mean, look, this is as these games go on, and you're looking at a 3-game stretch here where you play all these games at home. You could come out of this like really looking like one of those teams that has serious home field advantage.
You could.
All right. Last game that you've lost at home was to Tampa Bay Week 1 last year.
That's nuts. That's nuts. That's nuts.
And so, I mean, that's what I'm talking about when you start talking about Philadelphia and them winning. How important is it in your mind, especially with AT&T Stadium now becoming more that home field advantage actually being a reality to you, where you want some games here because that could be the difference between catapulting you into a championship and to an SB?
It's a big deal. Like 13 straight. It's a very big deal.
Big.
But at this point, like you got to figure out a way to earn that home game when you get into the playoffs. Yeah, we want to play a home game. If I'm coaching, all right, if I'm coaching, the conversation I'm having with my team whenever playoff time comes, because it's still early, it's still early to be talking about the playoffs, is we need to find a way to be able to play at home and on the road.
Yeah.
Right? Because, realistically, you're probably going to have a road game. What travels? This is why defense travels, run game travels. I think that's why Mike McCarthy was focused on, we're going to run the football because that travels, and we're going to play good defense because no matter where we playing at, that travels as well. That's the type of team I want to be, but heck yeah, I want a home game.
You got to. You can still get one without being the number 1 seed, right? You can still get that wild card, and you may need that. You may need that because you go on. I mean, you also got to look at the Lions, what they got going on over there. But
they getting their home game.
Yeah, they gonna get one.
They win that division.
They get that home game. You got to focus what you can focus on, man.
I mean, because right now I think that's who's competing for the bye right at this second. Still got 7 games left. Anything can happen, but right now Philly has the bye. And home field advantage, I believe, is Detroit would be number 2. It's crazy how 1 and 2 used to be the bye. And now it's not. That's crazy. That 2 has to play on Wild Card Weekend now, where you used to be able to get off from that. But something we've been talking about at Lent, man, we've been talking about this team from week 1. What is the identity of this team? After 10 games, have you guys figured that part out about the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, when it comes to their identity, at first I'm thinking it's the defense. It's the strength of this team, which I still feel they are the best unit overall on this team. But I feel like when you look at their identity as a whole, maybe just offense. Let's just break it up. Let's break it up, right? Because that's it's kind of tough. It's tough.
What's the identity of the team?
I gotta say, the identity of the team is Dak Prescott right now. It's on his shoulders. When you look at it offensively, we already know that's what it is offensively. And then when you were in your last biggest game of the year, Philadelphia, I would consider this the biggest game that they had up to this point. Because San Francisco was before that, but Philadelphia was the biggest game up to that point. When that time showed, it was Dak Prescott who kept this team in the game and gave them an opportunity to win. Did he cash in with that? No, but he played unbelievably and kept them within striking distance. That defense was showing a little bit leaky. It was leaky a little bit. They gave up, I believe, was it 28 or 31 points? One of the two. 28. So to me, I gotta say the identity right now, at least right now. We all know it can change, but I think it's Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I agree because I think when you I wanted us to have like this identity of like we're a very physical team. We run the ball, we play good defense, we stop the run, and then we force you to throw the ball to us or we force takeaways. But in order to have that, you have to have a good physical running game.
Yeah.
And at this point, I don't think when teams are looking at us on the schedule, they're saying this is going to be one of them games where we got to buckle up our chin straps. Like I don't think that's the feeling that they get when they see the Cowboys. I think it's more now, especially with Dak playing the way that he's playing, it's finesse on offense for sure.
Yeah,
it's finesse on offense. They want to play with a lead and then they want to rush the passer, not necessarily get physical with you on defense. They want to find a way to create some one-on-ones when they had the opportunity and then change the game that way by possibly forcing sacks or turnovers.
Yeah.
So I think our identity for me is, yes, it's a little bit more finesse, but it's leaning on Dak more since they've come out of the bye week.
Man, it's something about that whole thing. It kind of gives me pause because I believe your defense has been carrying you a lot. And it's been because, hey, you get a lead, you run your defense out there, you know your defense is going to close the curtain on whoever's out there. And that's what we've been relying on, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think we started off the season saying, all right, last year we put way too much on Dak's shoulders, or maybe he shouldered too much or thought he needed to play better. That's why you had the interceptions. This year, I think he's playing within himself and understanding that if I don't blow it, I don't turn the ball over, and I just put my defense back out here, my defense is going to protect whatever lead we have. When I look around the league at other teams, like Philadelphia right now is just getting it by any means necessary is their identity. Don't matter how we got to do it. We're going to get it done by any means necessary. If it's whatever it is, if we got to win by 1 point, we're going to do it. And you look at other teams around the league, their identities are starting to show. Dallas is the one team to me that there's so much gray area in what they are.
Would you say that Philadelphia, their identity is physical? They are going to try to win the trenches, and then they're going to keep the game. Whatever. If it's tight, then they're still going to run the ball. If they behind, they're going to run the ball, and they're going to play good defense, good physical defense, and find a way to win the game.
If I was going to say a physical team just right off the bat, I would have said the San Francisco 49ers.
That's a physical team.
Yeah, that's a physical team that when you go into their stadium or they come to yours, you better make sure you snap that thing because that's what brand that they're going to play. I think that Philly, for all intents and purposes, they have a little bit more finesse to their game because now you see A.J. Brown being able to do what he does in the passing game.
But I think that's the thing of like, I think their main style of football is physical.
Right. That's who they are.
The tush pushes them. Right. Like they don't get no more physical than, hey man, we got 2 yards to get. All right, we line up is man on man right here, and we're gonna win every time. Yeah. Like that is the most physical you can get at that point. When we talked about Blankenship yesterday. Oh yeah, the dude was because Pacheco and Kansas City they are also a physical football team.
Yeah, they are.
And you saw they was matching that yesterday, right? So I think San Francisco, Philly, a physical team. I think Detroit, their identity is trying to be a physical team. Although on defense sometimes they're a little leaky, but offensively they try to get physical with you. Seattle, another team who we want to play a physical brand of football, and then you get to us and it's like I think we can be physical. I don't think we played that way. I think we tried to at the beginning of the season, and it didn't work with the Tony Pollard. You don't have Zeke anymore, so that kind of physicality, the hammer, is not there like it was last season.
My man leave us with the hammer.
Hey, that's 2 for you. That's 2 for you.
That's my man D-Mac always coming through. We'll be back tomorrow, 2 o'clock for the last podcast of the holiday season. Well, the starting. Hey, yo.
That's crazy.
We out, man. We'll see y'all later, man. This has been the Players Lounge.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,